Honorable Henry Seriake Dickson, Governor of Bayelsa State. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we now take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, sir, they say the quality of our lives ultimately is shaped by the quality of the choices and decisions we make. You have over time proved that you are a good decision maker and you make right choices. And that has ultimately turned Bayelsa State to a development haven. And today, we're here for yet another remarkable event. Change, they say, is the only permanent thing in life, and you have decided to inject new blood into the State Executive Council by bringing 5 new eminent personalities on board to serve and move the programs of the Restoration Administration now that you have decided to finish well and strong. Your Excellency, we're here for the swearing in of 5 new commissioners. May I, therefore, by your kind permission at this point, hand over the microphone to the Chief Registrar of the High Court of Bayelsa State.
Honorable Henry Seriake Dickson. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, Rear Admiral Bobia George Buna. My Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, Honorable Justice Kate Abdul COM. Your Excellency, we are all gathered here for the swearing ceremony of 5 new commissioners designate. With your kind permission, Your Excellency, we want to take them together. And in view of the time constraint, thank you, Your Excellency. Accordingly, may I call on Honorable Sam Ateke Victor to please step out. Barrister Arthur Andrew to please step out. Pius Jonah. Honorable Odengs Eradu. And finally, Barrister Peter Affair. Kindly please step out. Barrister Peter Affair.
I will defend the Constitution of Nigeria. So help me God. I do not myself with this alone swear. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As Commissioner in Bayelsa State, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and with the current Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law. I'm always seeking the interest of the integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of the state policy in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will not allow my personal interests to influence my official conduct or my official decisions. That I will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will abide by the Code of Conduct in which is scheduled to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will pay rights to all members of people according to the law without fear or favor, affection or ill will. That I will not directly or indirectly communicate or refuse to any person any manipulations that brought about without my cooperation. Thus I will come to be as in by except as may be verified for the stand of my duties as police. So help me God.
Shall we please put hands together for them? The oath of allegiance and oath of office, and of course, Honorable Sam Victor Arteki steps forward, a man with a well-known leadership abilities, a one-time Deputy Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, a very strong and loyal party man, a man who makes the best of every responsibility and assignment given to him. And of course, all these qualities surely must have endeared him to the governor and of course to Bayelsans. And today, it's been found fit and proper to be elevated to the position of our commissioner in the Bayelsa State government. Shall we please put hands together for him? A High Chief and a politician. And stepping forward now is Barrister Arthur Andrew. Arthur Andrew has been very, very visible around, always doing the silent jobs and of course ensuring that they are done to perfection. And today, it is not surprising that all his hard work and achievements in the various assignments he has handled in the past has given him the leverage to move up to be a member of the Bayelsa State Executive Council. Let's please put hands together for him. And of course, stepping forward is Pius Jonah. Another silent achiever, a very loyal party man too, a man who doesn't waver in a cause he believes in. He has in his own little way always done the much he can to support the programs and policies of the restoration administration under the leadership of Honorable Henry Seriake Dickson. And today, he is appointed a commissioner in the Bayelsa State Executive Council. And of course, next is the one I will call the People's Comrade, a young man with a dogged, a just spirit, a fighter, very resilient, a man who always wants to achieve success. Though young, but he has remained focused and that shown his conviction and belief for the cause of the Ijaw man. Hence, he was once Secretary General of the IYC and later President of the Ijaw Youth Council IYC. Having served his full tenure in these offices, His Excellency has found him worthy, qualified and mature to move up in rank. Let's please put hands together for Comrade Odense Iradu. Well, clearly, Happy is the word for each person that has stepped forward to have a handshake with His Excellency turns with a smile. That's to tell you how unique and special this moment is. Right before His Excellency is Barrister Peter Afar, another gentleman whom I have known over the years for his thoroughness in handling issues. Another man who, when he believes in a cause and a program, he follows it up to the right end. Let's please put hands together for Barrister Peter Afar. Well, Your Excellency, that Bayelsa went and conquered again. Out of 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Bayelsa State came out 5th in the recently concluded National Sports Festival. Your Excellency, I say congratulations. It's on that note, sir, I will now humbly request that you give your charge to the new commissioners. Let's once again put hands together for His Excellency, the Governor.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of our state, my Lord, the Honorable, the Chief Judge of the state, let me recognize our brother, the distinguished Senator Foster Ogola, representing Bayelsa West, who is here seated, the leadership of the House of Assembly, represented by the House Leader, ably supported by his right-hand side, by the Chief Whip, who is holding the big whip in the House. I recognize all members of the House of Assembly of the state, Secretary to Government, the Head of Service, Chief of Staff, the Deputy Chief, members of the State Executive Council, and in particular, our newly sworn-in members of the State Executive Council, who will be joining the very first ESCO session soon after these ceremonies. I want to recognize and appreciate the presence of all special advisors here, our caucus chairmen, who are our leaders here, the Chief Registrar of the state, who's doing a great job, the families and friends and spouses, if any, of the commissioners newly appointed, gentlemen of the press, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Well, once again, we are here to admit new members into the most senior echelon of the government of our state. This is something that I've had the honor and privilege of presiding over for close to 7 years now. And when it comes to moments like this, selecting good hands among so many qualified and competent people is always a very difficult part of this job. The other one that comes next to it is when you have to say thank you, goodbye to a colleague and friend. But all the same, there's always an opportunity to welcome new people to join the government and even to upgrade people who have been part of this government, because looking at them all of them have been part and parcel of the story of the restoration government. Some from beginning, others came in at some points. But because they've done well in their previous assignments, it has come for us to recognize them for inclusion and for upgrading. So on behalf of the government and the good people of this state, I would like to congratulate all of you, congratulate your families, congratulate you all for your several years of meritorious service and dedication to the service of our people. And now the time has come for you all to be called to higher service. And as the saying goes, to whom much is given, so much more is expected.
You are coming into the restoration government, your government, at a time that we are at the last lap of the race. We've run a very good race by every account. By every account. I'm sorry, it seems to me I forgot to recognize our chairman. Please, a round of applause for this chairman. This is the best chairman of any PDP chapter in the whole country. Another round of applause for him again. Yes. Thank you. So, this is the last lap. So, the policy outlay of our government is very well known to all of you, very well known to everybody. Working together with this great and incredible team that I have had to assemble for the past 7 years, we have delivered on every sector, in every sector. And I keep telling people that if you examine what we have achieved with the distractions and the constraints, principally the funding constraint, because we've been managing a recession for so many years. You cannot help but say that we have tried. And when we look back and we assess what we have done, it seems to me that in most of the critical sectors, we have pushed the frontiers of development in our state 20, 25 years ahead in most of the critical sectors. In most of the critical sectors. You look at the schools, you look at the hospitals, you look at the roads, and before the end of this December, we'll be driving to Madam CJ's local government headquarters, the Cremon local government. Yeah. And before the end of this December or first week or second week of January, I will be taking the first flight to land at our international airport. And those who are fortunate will be indicated to join in that historic trip. You know, as a policeman, there is one parade. Deputy governor knows, but it's a general, retired general. There is one parade that when you are doing that one, they will say, for men indicated only. And when the command goes, it's only those people they have appointed that will act that command. Every other one, everybody will. But this other one, they will point at you. And they say, for men indicated only. So men indicated and women indicated only, too, will join in that historic flight. We can even fly and land now. But we are at the final stages of the approvals. The regulatory approvals, FAN, NCCA, this, all these federal bodies. But we want to get through with all of that by this week or next week. Then we'll do that. So the point I'm making is that we have advanced the course of development as much as we can. Have we solved all the problems in our state? No. And I'll be the first to admit that. Problems of the state are huge. But have we made a difference? Clearly, yes, yes, yes. So, I thank God for the opportunity and the enablement and the vision and the focus and the strength to push through up till now. And our collective prayer and resolve is that we are all going to end and finish well and strong in Jesus' name. Now, as we embark on this critical final lap, there has been need for us to do some internal reorganizations. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So the 5 of you who are the first batch coming in, there are others who will follow, have been carefully selected. I know you all, and I know the contributions you have all made. I know your potentials. Part of what we do as a political leader is not just building roads and schools. That is good. But building and creating, nurturing leadership is also a very critical component of the success story of any society, because societies are driven by leaders. So what we do from time to time is to carefully select people, give an opportunity for them to serve, and by so doing, learn to discover more about themselves and about their societies. And it has been very rewarding. So on that note, knowing you all, your potentials, and your contributions that you've made so far, we have selected you, and it's my pleasure to deploy you as follows. But these are all interim assignments, because there will be a major reorganization that will come in the new year. But make the best of your time as you go to these ministries. Every ministry is important. Every area of service is critical. The Honorable Sam Ateke Victor, former Deputy Speaker, and my essay all these years, is going to support in mobilizing and organizing that sensitive senatorial district, the brass senatorial, that is Bayelsa East, where there are a lot of issues. And I need someone dependable, someone who is trusted to oversee all developments, be they issues of stability and security, be they issues of development, be they issues of coordinating the various activities of government. I will need someone trusted to do that. So the Honorable Sam Victor Ateke, Chief, is hereby assigned to the Ministry of Ateke. Victor. Is Victor Sam Ateke? Yes, Chief the Honorable. Ministry of Special Duties, Brass Senatorial, that is Bayelsa East. Congratulations. And your work starts now. Your work starts now. Between now and, of course, elections, you are not going to rest. Work starts now. I hope to see you tomorrow for briefings and with the necessary memos. The 3 senatorial district commissioners will have a lot of work to do, all the 3. But you have more work to do for obvious reasons. Barrister Arthur Andrew Sewonowo, you've done a great job for the past years as the first special prosecutor appointed by a governor of a state, and he needs a special round of applause. Yes. And I'm very pleased with the work you have done so far, your diligence, your courage, and your loyalty. These are elements that aspiring leaders need to take from this. Since your nomination, I hear from the grapevine that some people out there are happy. The criminals that you are prosecuting are happy. They think you have been taken away and they will breathe and move freely. But they have failed, because we have now created a ministry, again with you as a pioneer commissioner. The Ministry of States for Special Services is hereby created. With you as a pioneer commissioner, in this responsibility, we expect you to deploy your teamwork spirit and skills, liaising with the Office of the Honorable Attorney General to ensure that all these criminals, whoever they are, no matter how high or how low, they are brought to book according to the laws of this country and the laws of this state. You will coordinate and oversee also the activities of various outfits that are helping us at the state level. So it's on this note that I assign you to the Ministry of the newly, as Commissioner in the Ministry of State for Special Services. I hereby direct the Head of Service to forthwith nominate an appropriate permanent secretary and secretary to government, work out the modalities for that office to take up with immediate effect. The new commissioner and his PAMSEC should be brought to me by the secretary of government tomorrow to discuss the modalities and the logistics for your immediate setup with the requisition for the staffing that you need, including the skill sets that you need. Investigators, retired people, and all that will work with you to complement the security services. Pius Jonah, I've known you for a very long time, a very senior political operative, and you have been a part of this government. You are hereby assigned to the Ministry of Special Projects. You are going to oversee a lot of direct labor projects across the states. Across the states, you're not going to have any breathing space. Tomorrow, the former Commissioner for Works will come with you, with the Permanent Secretary to my office, with your Permanent Secretary, and you will chair the State Direct Labor Agency Board, because a lot of direct labor projects across the state will be stepped up. Congratulations. My President, Udain Seriake, you have served and distinguished yourself as a young leader of our people, as a youth activist, and as a colleague in the job movement. I know that you have tried your hands a couple of times, and also recently, in the realm of elective politics. But the fact that you did not succeed at any of these does not detract at all from the potentials that I know that you have. A committed Ijaw nationalist with a lot of potentials for leadership and for service. And it is in acknowledgement of this that I have nominated you to join the State Executive Council, which is the highest policy-making body of your state, expecting that by so doing, you will learn teamwork, team spirit, and add that, and loyalty, and add that to your excellent energy level. You have a lot of energy and a lot of passion for the conditions of our people. But you've got to work in a team. And this nomination will hopefully give you an opportunity to contribute by way of your ideas. I know you have a lot of ideas. And also give you a platform to exhibit and utilize your abundant energy. I know you, that you are someone who is dying to see changes in the conditions of our people. Your involvement here will open your eyes to the inner recesses of government and give you an opportunity to serve at this high level. And knowing your capacity for mobilization, particularly of the young people of our state, I have had some disappointments once or twice when we identify young people and try to create and encourage young leaders. But then all of those are all part of the process of bringing a society out from underdevelopment to development. Like the story of the mustard seed. A number will fall by the wayside. A number may fall on hard surfaces. But I hope that by the time I round up, from this multitude of people that we have identified and brought in into governance of their state. Some few will be like the seed planted on fertile soil. Yes, and those ones, however few, I have no doubt that those ones will germinate, take root, and multiply, and fill our land. Our area is not just poor in the area of infrastructure, abandoned by the federal government, the government of Nigeria for decades, exploited mercilessly. But one of the things we also need to do consciously is to create committed, dedicated, visionary, passionate, selfless leadership. And I know that that is critical. That's why we've been doing this. Sometimes we do it wrongly, sometimes people disappoint, but we've got to do what we've got to do. I'm delighted to have you as a member of the State Executive Council, and I assign you to a field that you are already very, very familiar with. Mobilizing and redirecting sometimes the, well, clearly abundant, but misdirected energies of our young people. You will have a lot of support from me and the government, a way of organizing sensitization workshops, seminars, mobilizing people for the right causes, move our youth away from cultism and drug abuse that is destroying them and our future. Now I hear cases where cultism is not only in universities. It has not only taken root in secondary schools, it's now even going to primary schools. 11, 12, 13-year-olds are cult members and killers prowling the streets of our communities. And a number of them are on drugs. Udens, you have a lot of work to do. You have my support to come up with the appropriate policies and action plans. We've got to recover as many of these young people as we can, because that is our future. And I join all leaders, political opinion, religious leaders to join in this move. And woe betide those few political leaders who call themselves leaders who are destroying these young boys and girls by showing them a false example that they can only succeed when they are cult members and cult leaders. Some of us seated here have never joined any cult and will never join any cult, but we are where we are. But the young people have been sold a false model that for them to be recognized, for them to be useful, for them to be a man or a woman, that they need to belong to cults and kill people to show supremacy or for whatever reason. And I want to call on all Bayelsa leaders of the Niger Delta, need to wake up to this crippling menace that has destroyed the future of our people. Here we are complaining of abandonment. Our environment not destroyed. Our people are neglected. But the worst thing destroying us is the destruction of our youth. Now, cultism and drug abuse. It's a major, major challenge. So those who say they are political leaders only by buying guns and teaching our young people how to kill during elections, they are the people who have created this mess. And we've got to find a way around it. So, on that note, thanks, you have a lot of work to do. I assign you to the Ministry of Youth Development. Congratulations. Use this period to develop a template for engagement and reorientation reorientation. Too many young people who have the wrong models, godless, and on drugs. We've got to retrieve them back. And I think you will try your best. I will support you. Barrister Peter Afar has been a special advisor for some years now. And you come from a very distinguished political background. Your father is a known, steadfast politician, a reputable community leader that's been very supportive. And I want to assign you, I know you are a lawyer, but lawyers are trained to multitask and also to learn fast. I'm assigning you to a very technical ministry, but you've got to learn to listen. That's one of the things you do when you're a leader, listening and learning from all around you. In addition to your views, you must have your own views, but listen. I assign you to the Ministry of Power. Congratulations. Now, you should get proper briefings, all of you, from your permanent secretaries. Learn and work with them and listen to them. The average permanent secretary in the system has spent over 20 years, some 25, some 30 years. They know what they are doing. When I became a commissioner, even though I had done some administrative work as a station clerk and as an investigator, I had to learn the rudiments of managing public documents. My then permanent secretary, Didi Wilson-Jack, and officers had to teach me, and I was asking questions. So listen to the permanent secretaries, work with them, all of you. But for power, by first week of January, you and your PAMSEC will see me with the power team. You are chairman of the power team. We have made enormous investments in power, and we have a roadmap for power. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the patience of our people who have suffered condemnable blackout. We don't have enough power supply from the federal system. But we have we have connected so many of our communities to the national grid. But we don't control, because of Nigeria's lopsided federalism, we don't control a lot of these elements. But see how, with your team, work around the existing rules to see that our dream for power is realized. It's on this note, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I congratulate you all. Make the best of your time in the Executive Council. In this council, as you will see today, immediately after now, we'll go into council meeting. We believe in frank discussions, frank and robust debates. And we look forward to your participation. And may God guide and bless you and bless all of us as we work together to advance the cause of stability, prosperity, and development of our people. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.